Welcome to the 2022 PDGA Masters Disc Golf World Championships. We are down to the back nine of the semi-final round. In the MP40 division, these players on the lead card vying to stay on the lead card because that would put them in the final four, which gets to play a final 9 holes. Going for that championship just a little bit later on this afternoon. But first things first, got to make it through the back 9 here at the Eureka Temp course. It's Grant Zellner and Garry Patton on the mic.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. Just 9 more holes to get these players to the conclusion and the final chance at the championship.
Little summary there for you. What's been going on? Michael Johansen so far with the hot round has played himself up to just 1 stroke behind a lead shared by Martin Hendel and Joe Rovere. Justin Bunnell also still very much in the mix. And we're quickly on to hole number 10, a par 3 at 425 feet.
Yeah, many ways to attack this hole as you go over this little wetland area that doesn't play OB and doesn't really come into play, but just something to look at as you're trying to soar over that shot and contend with these little trees to give yourself a putt. I would imagine a couple of these players will go with a turnover there in the open air, and a couple will probably attack the woodland on the right looking to hyzer in. As MJ kind of splits the difference, looks like he's very content just putting one out there and getting up and down.
Yeah, super conservative effort there from MJ. There's Martin Hendel now.
He's been playing the shot that lands into circle 2 or so. A little baby flex. That might even be edge of the circle. That was a good shot.
Indeed it is. Just inside the circle there. Joe Rovere, a little turn on that. Looks like it's coming out, though, and finishing beautifully.
Yeah, that much better than the previous round out here. That shot was excellent.
Finally, Justin Bunnell.
You kind of followed MJ's line there. I guess a little bit of everyone. Like, they all just mixed each other's lines just a touch, and MJ was the only one left out.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, followed Martin. Left MJ out here just pitching up as per his plan.
And believe it or not, there is OB on this hole to the left, and you can go through the woods and go OB in the creek. But here's Justin at a pretty good look. Just leaves it a little bit high.
Yeah, off the band. Disappointed in that effort there. Martin now from about 27 feet.
Here are 2 leaders. Ooh, good catch. Both
dances
with,
that in.
Yeah, just a left side there, but he hit it nice and firm, and he missed his disc there, but he safely retrieves it right before Joe taps in his birdie to stay tight at the top.
No problem there for Joe.
We all know that feeling. You just barely miss one, and you're just kind of moseying around a little bit after the miss. Joe stares that one down intently.
And we jump up to the 11th, just 300 feet to par 3 with OB tight on all sides. Got to go around to the left here. Can't see the basket from the tee pad. And then down this long rectangle of space to a basket that has OB inside the circle on at least 2 sides and very near the circle there on the left as well.
Yeah, and if players go OB on this hole close to the pin, it's not the biggest deal. It's just normal OB rules.
Martin puts a good move on that disc and watches it float into the shadow of the basket.
Yeah, I don't think Martin's had any trouble on this hole throughout this tournament. Joe's looking to follow suit here.
As per usual, throws a little lower, a little harder, but unfortunately gets slammed to the ground by that same wind we dealt with a couple of holes ago on the 9th when 3 of the 4 players went out of bounds. Now MJ needs to get a little air under this disc.
He looks to... Ooh, that might have slid out.
Nope, stayed just barely in.
Very close there. He'll have a look. And with Justin's high throw here, I would imagine he does pretty well. The only mistake he's looking at is going out of the back, but he controlled the distance great, and he's right there for a birdie.
Rovere, a little floating up there from about 60 feet. Now over to MJ. You can see he's about a pace and a half inside the out of bounds mark. Doesn't even watch it.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to have a lead change.
Yeah, indeed. With Martin there, tap in distance.
A nice
Don't
putt
want to
there.
ignore Justin's putt.
Yep. And Justin moves back to even, which if you can get in the red numbers in this tournament at all, you are doing exceptionally well. Martin finally putted very quick there. I know it was very close, but
Yeah.
it's the first time we've seen it happen.
Very deliberate players, several of these guys on this card. So the water tower, the 12th, a par 3 at 354 feet, sort of sits in a way on an island. I mean, it doesn't. You can lay up off to the right if you'd like. Otherwise, though, you're playing way up here to somewhere around the water tower. Players, most of them choose to go around the right side, but you can go around the left.
Yeah, laying up on this hole is almost too short where it feels uncomfortable. But if you do choose to lay up, you'd have two of the same shot. If not, though, your goal is not to hit the water tower with much height. If you hit anywhere around those banners that Grant had mentioned, the front nine, you're most likely rolling OB.
Yeah, you can basically throw your layup up there by where the drop zone sign is to be.
Oh, that is a very fortunate roll. That should just settle fine.
Woo, look at that. Disc just dance off the base of the water tower.
Next, MJ. I'm curious if MJ has the power to park this around the tower or not. Just see if he can get in bounds up here somewhere.
He's in.
Yeah, he kind of threw it short side and just missed it to the left, which I've seen a number of times, and that's definitely a play. And Justin's shown us he has significant power, so he's looking to just clear this tower if he can and really push the shot around. This looks similar to Martin's, so let's hope the tower's nice to him. And it is nice to him. And I think Joe has cleanly made this shot around the backside every round so far, so let's see if he can follow that. It looks a little tight.
Oh, that's early.
There's
Way
the roll that, that, believe it or not, that happens a lot, and we haven't seen it much in our coverage here. He definitely is probably thinking, why me? And from this drop zone, he's looking at maybe 175 feet.
Yep.
Yeah.
So right around the back.
Yep, and here's Martin. He took a very good roll here. He likes this range. Let's see if he can put in one.
Just off from 50. The problem was he was too close.
Yeah, maybe.
Justin now. Circle's edge.
Oh, he just kind of pulled it a little bit there, or pushed it, I guess, depending on his release point. But MJ has a longer look here. You can see MJ went so far to the left, he had a clear look at the basket.
Yeah, again, to your point, don't know how much that was by design, but
Sure.
nevertheless. So now everybody tapping.
And this is not a good hole to mess up. Neither is 11, because the walks after the hole to the next tee pad is very long. So you have plenty of time to sulk or reminisce on the good moments, whatever happens. As Martin here is the last competitor to tap in. The players will start their long walk to the par 5.
And suddenly we're there.
That was quick.
Through the magic of TV, as they used to say. Hole 13, par 5 at 1,080 feet over Eureka Lake here, and then paralleling the lake. Up and into the distance.
Yeah, in this bush we're flying over, I forgot to mention the previous ones, but this bush it's pivotal that you clear this on your second shot. Landing in that bush is a automatic pitch out, and it most likely has a 50-50 shot of dropping you in the water as well before you contest the power line we just flew over there for your final water carry on the hole.
Yeah, the sort of preferred shot shapes here on this hole force you to take the water on 3 times, which is sort of an interesting detail as Martin takes the box.
Yeah, you're looking for 350-ish feet of hyzer, if you will. And that shot is excellent from Martin. He actually pulled that out to the right a little bit. He'll have a cleaner looking shot than previous rounds as MJ looks to follow suit.
Is this to maybe get up?
Yeah,
no problem.
That'll be okay. So the thing you don't want to do off the tee here is to push your shot, actually flip up your hyzer and push it up where you have to take the intended fairway, which sounds crazy because the hyzering over the lake, as Grant said, is the preferred route.
Yeah, that looks inviting, but that's not really what most players are looking for here. Joe wanting to spike this in. He's flirted with the edge of the water. He does it again, right there with the edge.
Yeah, I think if he gets a little relief off the rocks, which you do out here, we haven't really had to state that yet, I think that he'll have a pretty good angle. And here's MJ looking to clear that bush that I was talking about. Maybe about 350 again would be ideal here.
Has to put a powerful move to get around that bush, and he does get around it nicely.
And believe it or not, there's another mistake you can make is not going too far up the hill is pivotal also because the tree limbs block your last shot. So you can truly make this hole difficult. It can either be difficult or very easy depending on how low you stay up. He looks like he went up the hill too. So I can't stress it enough. Being down by the water's edge is huge dividends here to scoring well. This looks like the traditional shot. Yeah, this should land on the bottom shelf, leaving him with a pretty routine hyzer.
Now Martin forced to play a much sharper hyzering shot. On to terra firma.
Yeah, and here's what I was talking about, where all of the players threw nice shots, but Joe here is just 20 feet up the hill from the next disc. And he's having to play a weird shot, but he does so perfectly.
Oh, wow.
He stays hunched over, too, the whole time. He doesn't really show his emotion. I mean, he's obviously happy.
He doesn't show positive emotion very often. He'll show frustration occasionally, and he'll talk to himself and get himself up for the next shot, but he doesn't celebrate just a ton.
And it was hard to see there too as MJ threw his shot. I think MJ might have went under or just over the power line there. That is the last obstacle in this hole. And Martin is forced to go underneath those branches, and it looks like he did. So, he just slipped out the back.
Big skip and then a roll and then wet in the water.
That's super unfortunate.
Just by inches.
He did the right thing there. He was very aggressive with the correct disc choice. It just was a little fast on the green. And
Justin Bunnell just 275.
You can see how much easier his shot is just being on flat ground. Makes easy work of it. And that should be a birdie for him.
So now Martin gathering the card, trying to figure out.
And I don't know if they thought Martin's shot. It's interesting. I mean, they don't know this from their card, and you have to determine the best place where it goes out of bounds. But Okay, now it looks like they're more in tune with where it went. Or maybe he was just asking where the disc was at in general.
Well, yeah, I think the card in general was blind to this particular
they
spot
were.
this far behind the basket. So
Because it almost looked like they thought he went out from the ropes and then rolled down into the lake, opposed to just going straight into the lake.
got everything sorted.
Yeah, and that
Martin will have to save a bogey.
putt there was much longer than I think the camera angle made it look.
So MJ from 25 feet for the birdie.
And he is 5 down for the round. That's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Bogey free.
And this is the first hole he has birdied that is not a par 3, so Justin follows suit. So even with a bogey here on this hole, looks like the card is going to average just about 2 down. Or not just about, it's pretty specific.
Just 4 guys to average out.
Yeah.
Joe asks if he can just go ahead and get out of the way. Now Martin finishes up that bogey. Look how close things are here.
3-way tie.
3. With Justin now another stroke under par. So everybody under par here, leading the way in the MP40 division as the number of holes left to try to make that final 9 dwindles.
Play disc golf.
Pelaan frisbeegolfia.
Spill disc golf. Ja.
To help recognize players of all ages and backgrounds, we are excited to announce the PDGA Global Master Series.
Beginning January 2023, anyone competing in a Masters division at a PDGA-sanctioned tournament will qualify.
You'll be ranked with other players in your division from around the world. And the player with the 8 highest rated rounds will become a PDGA Global Master Series champion.
Visit pdga.com/GMS.
Ledgestone. Every summer, hundreds of disc golfers flock to the greater Peoria, Illinois area to compete in the sport's richest and most charitable event, the Ledgestone Open. But what does Ledgestone look like for the rest of the year? On the surface, Ledgestone is one of disc golf's leading retailers, but look a little closer and you'll find a group of motivated individuals providing the best possible service to the disc golf community. So whether you're building a bag, wanting to support your favorite pro, or looking to add to your disc golf wardrobe, choose the retailer that's as passionate about the sport as you are. Choose Ledgestone.
Now to the tricky 14th, an 850-foot par 4, playing downhill to what is actually a very narrow out of bounds, I guess we'll call it a ditch. It kind of goes down from that tree right there to the water, more or less, and then bends around to the right, following the pond yet again to a basket that's a little bit further from the water, but still has water long, not unlike the 13th, which we just played.
Yeah, and the common theme here is the water on the baskets near the water kind of slant on the green towards the water.
Mm-hmm.
And you said tricky for this hole. This is a very tough par 4.
Yeah, I think I even misspoke in an earlier round. I called one of those trees off to the right of Mando, and that's just because mentally for me it is. Even though it's not officially a Mando, as MJ does manage to go too far to the right, finds the water.
Yeah, the branch, he actually threw a perfect shot there, and the branch just kicked him into the water a little bit. As Justin looks to follow MJ's line without touching the greenery. That is an amazing shot.
That's perfectly
He'll
placed.
still have to throw a 440-ish foot hyzer from there to get to the basket, but he has a shot. As we see Joe looking to attack.
Little turn on that. Yeah, I was going to say it needs to go to ground, but not skip, and it sure did. So now Joe joins MJ.
I noticed Joe switched his disc there to something faster as Martin throws. Oh, if this holds a little bit, sits for him, it'll be good. Ooh, just up against the OB, but he should be safe. Yep.
Got our signal there. So now Joe taking relief.
And Joe's still close to 500 feet from the basket, maybe a little bit inside of that. But I would imagine he's conceding the bogey at this point.
There's out over the water. That seemed risky out of the hand, but no problem there.
And he is maybe
Nicely
not conceding the par. I mean, the bogey. He has a long shot there at saving par.
Yep. And we've got MJ now.
He's a little bit closer, but
His disc was right on the edge. That's Joe's disc out there in the water that you can see there. MJ's was on the edge. I'm not. Did he take an OB stroke there?
not too sure. We might have to wait till after the hole to fully confirm. I mean, I guess I could look up stats as well.
Didn't have a spotter down there on the water line on this hole. Per my notes that I'm looking at, he ended up not taking an OB stroke there.
Look at this shot. That was incredible.
Wow.
Beautiful shot there.
Yeah, Justin Bunnell showing us how to play the tricky 14th. Now Martin, odd angle here.
Yeah, I've been there a few times. That shot is pretty much par land, unless you're feeling very aggressive and want to throw a roller. I think Martin made the right decision there.
MJ from 150 feet.
I think that'll do.
Now Martin, about 90.
Okay.
A little punch there.
Yeah, I would say he's insane if he runs that putt. And I mean, Joe has a chance here to not relinquish any strokes. Oh my goodness, he does it. A 3-shot par on this hole because of the OB.
Wow.
Incredible.
The downhill 40-footer in to save the par. Now Justin Bunnell, just 18 feet. What a gem of an upshot that was.
How many birdies do you think there were on this hole?
One.
Correct. And it was Justin.
We just saw it. Yeah, the fact that you even asked made me think we probably just saw the only one, but I wouldn't have guessed more than one or two anyway.
Yeah, we're in rare company this round. We've seen 2 of these solo birdies.
And MJ indeed takes the bogey, so the card did determine that disc wasn't touching dry land a little bit earlier up the fairway.
The high lofting putt from Joe one more time. Where's it at? There it is.
Oh, boy. Way out of the frame.
Kind of the Barsby-esque, if you will.
You know, it really was, at least in terms of how it flies. Maybe not all the style, but...
Yeah, not the style.
And here we are having to just leave that behind. That's the nature of the game. On to hole 15, a 350-foot par 3. I feel like this hole plays a lot longer than that. It blows my mind that you see so many MPO players, for example, some even throw putters off of this tee pad and try to drift something up and around because there is a Mando. That flagpole is a Mando.
Justin is here first after the amazing birdie. And yeah, you said people throwing putters in this hole. I've seen it a couple times with my own eyes, and it's unbelievable.
Catches the road and unfortunately skips along the road, so
that's
stays out of bounds there.
A more rare OB. You don't see that too often. You normally see the left side OB. As Joe throws his third thumber on this hole, see if he can miss the little tree. That'll be a long look, as long as it settles.
Not a favorable roll. He was actually a little bit disappointed. If that disc settles right down, he finds himself maybe a step or two outside circle 1, but he'll have a longer look today.
And Martin's kind of been flirting with the right side too, a bit. I think he's hit that tree every single round, or been very close.
Mm-hmm. He went right through it and had to can a 70-footer a couple of rounds ago. Not surprisingly, Martin canning 70-footers. Then MJ steps up, just doesn't put enough air under that shot.
Yeah, and to what you were saying earlier, I think this hole plays all of 350 feet.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
Ooh, gives it a little run. To tap in for par.
No problem. Martin now. Oh, no way.
Oh, my goodness. It just stays there, too. I was so fixated on the banners there. He had such a strong headwind.
70-footer.
Man.
Another 70-footer.
Martin Hendel, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like his long ones, too, are just so... The disc is so on a pure line. It's not even wobbling. As Justin tries to give it a run, just lays it up there and takes the bogey.
Yeah, Martin made one from over there the other day.
And so it's interesting here, too. I'm not sure how perceptive you all are at home, but Joe and Martin are kind of trading blows here. It's like we're watching a heavyweight bout, and it's a fantastic battle. Because Martin has once again tied it up. Sorry, I noticed there wasn't a birdie graphic on the bottom. It kind of threw me off there, but we're definitely tied it up top still. And there's the graphic. It just kind of snuck in on us.
There we go.
Look at this putt. Just stabs in there, and I think it stays. Yep. You had talked out earlier in the coverage saying you like that a little more, and there's another look.
Yeah, indeed. Hole 16, par 4 at 606 feet. Another one of those holes here at Eureka Temp where you can cut the hole basically in half if you want to. We're about 250 out here as the drone is flying, kind of cresting a bit of a mound, and then the basket just off the back of the mound. You've got a couple of Mandos to deal with on the right-hand side, at least one, I guess, to be specific, one of the phone poles. The path, though, is safe.
Martin's looking for this to stay over. That might have been a good branch as far as keeping him away from the OB line.
Yeah, that's right. There is an OB line to the left, a rope line. It's a little bit difficult to see from this angle, but it's definitely in play right about the time the discs come to the ground.
This is the first round Joe has not thrown the roller, and he... Oh my goodness, just out of bounds. So it advantage Martin, as they say, as we watch MJ on the tee here.
This one drifting toward the path and into the bush.
I think where he landed, he'll still have some kind of a shot, but those bushes are very thick. It's hard to get to your lie sometimes.
You might have to deal with the angry bird. There was a bird over there in that section of bushes this week that was making its presence known every single day, dive bombing players.
I was wondering if it was actually attacking players or not. That's interesting.
Yeah, no, it was. I assume it had a nest or something in there,
Sure.
so it was screeching and dive bombing players as we came over there. And
Justin has a lot of work left to do here. At least I'd say 370, 360.
Yeah, 380-ish is what I had down for that particular shot. Now Martin's still with 370 to go.
And the telephone pole, top center right, is the Mando. And he is on the inside of that. This looks great. That'll leave him with a reasonable putt there from maybe 30, 35 feet.
MJ now just about 320, but no real stance. So this sort of an early upshot, if you will.
Yeah, he'll probably be laying that up from there. So even though Joe went OB about halfway down the fairway, or maybe a little further, he'll have a realistic shot at getting up and down for par here.
Yeah, just 245 to the basket. Got a lot of distance.
That might be a little early. It is.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have a very long putt, longer than even the putt he hit on 14 to save par.
So Justin next. He's still 150-ish out.
And he leaves that one a little bit short, too, maybe 30 feet or so.
MJ, no thought to it. Gonna lay it up, gonna take the par and move on.
Yeah, I mean, 4 down. It's pretty easy to make decisions.
Joe, you see the branch he had to worry about. Couldn't go straight at that.
Yeah, and it looks like if Martin puts this in, he's going to gain 2 strokes on Joe if he just pars 1.
Oh, the little skipping putt there skips off the top of the basket as well.
See if Justin can put in for his par. Goodness, they traded sides, just left side, right side, just a little bit of chain and nubs, and just unfortunate errors there. But Martin a chance to take a par.
Not a problem. With that par, he'll actually extend his lead.
Yeah, to 2 strokes. And all of these players are handling this course pretty well in the grand scheme of things. Joe's about to... Actually, Joe already went back to 1 down, so all of these players right around par.
'17th over the water here, just 310 feet to a very small island green. Island green smaller than the depth of the circle from front to back.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Yeah, this plays as a very, very tight island. I think 310 seems a little short. I'd say this hole plays more like 330 or so.
Martin going straight at it as per usual.
Oh, that's dropping out of the air. And it just...
That dropped quickly.
Yeah. There must be a weird wind, a crosswind again on this hole or something.
It kind of plays in the same direction as 9 and as 11.
I was thinking the same thing, yeah, when we both saw that drop.
You can see from the water there, the wind from left to right.
Yeah, I think Joe, he needs to throw the shot with a more overstable disc out to the right and harder. His shot from the previous round that went OB long should play really well. And it looks like that's what he's doing. And there's an excellent shot.
Remarkable, I think, the number of discs that come in. They land left of the basket, but still don't go further left enough to go out of bounds. I think it's really interesting. Grass really holds on to discs over there on that left side. So now Martin's got to play from the drop zone, looking at about 177, 178 feet.
That shot looks okay, as long as it sits. And not to ignore, Justin threw an amazing shot there to follow up the tee shots as MJ throws his shot from the drop zone as well. Looks to put it close enough to be easy work. So here's Joe to tie the lead back up.
Oh.
He'll still gain a stroke there in Martin, but a little disappointing.
Yeah, a little bit of an opportunity lost there for sure. MJ tapping in, and here in a minute we'll finally get to Justin's tee shot.
Yeah, we've said it once, we'll say it 1,000 times. To be last to putt from your tee shot when your card is struggling a bit is never a bad experience.
Takes the lone birdie here at the 17th, picking up 1 and 2 strokes on his card mates respectively. So Justin very much still in the mix for this championship. Justin and Michael in particular also wanting to make sure they stay in that final foursome for the final 9. They've got one more hole to navigate, and then we'll see how the chase card scores stack up. Looking at hole number 18, a par 4 at 711 feet. Mando off to the right there off the tee. We've already passed it. Little concrete stage area here, playing as a casual area. So any discs that come to rest there, you get to take relief if you choose to.
Yeah.
Traditional 18 basket location over here, pressed down a little bit toward the water's edge.
Yeah, this fits right in with the handful of holes I was talking about, a par being huge as far as gaining strokes for the field. This 711 feet plays very, very far. I'm interested to see how Joe took his... he took a different shot on 16, didn't throw the roller. I'm interested to see if he'll throw the roller on this shot as Justin throws first here.
With the wind coming in off of the water, you can see how it sort of took Justin's shot there.
OB, they do a lot. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, caught a rock.
A stroke of fortune. The way I would personally look at this, if they're hammering him to the right so hard, I would just accept the roller and accept the early flip.
That's what Joe's doing right here.
Yeah, and see, the wind's really going left to right here. And he threw something so overstable that is the best shot he's thrown by a significant amount this entire tournament so far out here on this hole. I think this wind will also make Martin avoid the concrete structure that he's been so in tune with, unfortunately.
He sure has. He's been down there in some form or fashion every day.
Yeah, the wind
pushing him up from it.
Still might fall down to it. Martin finally has a swing on his upshot.
He hasn't yet this week.
No, unfortunately. MJ last year. Hopefully the wind it does. That's a great shot from MJ as well. Get away from that bench a little bit. There he goes. He has a look.
Justin now not out of bounds, gets to pull some relief back away from the water's edge though.
Yeah, and depending how adventurous you are, you can really argue your case to get relief off those rocks. There's a lot of rocks that are underneath the grass even where you can... It's more beneficial for the player not to roll an ankle or anything.
Yeah. Yep, the rule's very specific. You can take relief from the rocks at water's edge.
Did he stay in
flirting again?
Oh, my goodness.
I think he did.
I mean, he'll be in a
we'll
bush.
Get a closer look at it.
As MJ throws here, and the traditional up top, he'll have a pitch up and down probably from there. But, yeah, we'll have to see what happened to Justin's. Is Joe still has 320 feet from here probably. Throwing an overstable disc on a force. And oh my goodness, what a shot.
What a nice little skipping end to that shot. So now Martin finally getting to take a shot here at the 18th. Trying to get it to work under those final branches, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That shallow angle causing that late skip.
Yeah, he'll have a look at par there. And here's a look at Justin's disc. Clinging on to life by the smallest of amount of land. And it looks like the bush actually isn't going to be in his way as much as I had previously thought, so he's got a shot here at actually saving par.
From 220 out.
I've said it a couple times. I love the forehand for the upshot here. It just plays away from the water, similar to hole 2. That'll work.
Yeah, more than acceptable there. Picks up that barely inbounds disc. We jump up to MJ from 125.
Okay, it slid down. I was worried that he might have left that a little bit too angled on the top side of the hill. And Justin has a little bit more work than I thought here as well.
32. That's the second one off the band we've seen from Justin today.
Yeah, very good commitment. As you see, Martin just went out of bounds off these rocks here.
Now Martin,
This would be
about 27
a
feet.
good par save.
Big putt there for Martin.
Very nice putt.
Taking a penalty stroke on 18 and still managing par. No easy feat.
And Joe here for the elusive birdie. And he does it. All right, how many birdies on this hole do you think there were?
Of course he did, because now they get to be tied at the top yet
That's
again going into the final 9. To answer your question, I'm gonna say we just saw the only one yet again.
We actually had 3 on this hole today.
Wow.
Shout out to Chris Sprague, Steve Brinster, and Joe Rovere.
All right. Well, I'm glad to be wrong if it's in the favor of the players.
I kind of set you up for that one because the last time I asked you, but you're right. To see a tie at the top is plenty of suspense here. It's going to come down to the wire.
It's kind of appropriate that there's a tie at the top, and it's kind of appropriate that it's between Joe and Martin, even though there are others very much in the hunt. And those others that are very much in the hunt, well, I suppose we'll just wait and let everybody find out when we get a look at the overall leaderboard here in a minute. Okay, there. I'm no longer spoiling things. We get a look at the exact same foursome. That is everybody at par or better, and that is everybody who will be playing later on this afternoon in a final 9, but not here. We go back to Northwood Black.
And a quick shout out to Jimmy, who was on coverage last round, who fought back incredibly there.
Yeah, spectacular showing there from Jimmy, something to be proud of. Here at the 2022 PDGA Masters Disc Golf World Championships, make sure you're following along with the PDGA here on YouTube. Final 9 coming soon.